You are still watching Sunrise at Sea here on CTV. Welcome to our views. My name is Aggie Oase, and today we are talking about a very sensitive conversation that some people actually avoid talking about. But I thought that, you know what, today is the day and is the time that we get to have this conversation blunt, giving our blunt opinions and also being a little bit sensitive. And we are talking about body shaming. And joining me at the center of this conversation are the ladies to my far right. That is Priva.
Hello.
And seated right next to me is Sarah Apollo. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning? It's been chilly since yesterday, all through today.
Still very chilly.
But it's a good day. Anyway, you have heard about body shaming before, and it's a very, like I talked about, it's a very sensitive issue. And the ideas of beauty over the years have changed. I mean, back in the day, in the 1990s, to be considered beautiful, especially as a woman, you had to be slender, you had to be tall, skinny and all. And we are seeing now in that through the 2020s till this day, it has changed to more you have to be curvy. So actually that has put women who are skinny, who are not, who don't have the curves that are deemed as beautiful, to feel a certain way. And usually people think that body shaming only refers to the big people or what you can call fat. I always, try to desist from using that word. But it doesn't only refer to the people who have more weight or who are overweight, but we are seeing skinnier women and smaller women being victims of body shaming. But before we dive into this conversation, I would like you to watch a video and with someone giving us an opinion on the body shaming and what they have had to go through. And to define for you what body shaming is the act of making inappropriate and negative comments about another person's weight or size. Now, frequently, this is something that overweight people have had to deal with, but we are seeing, like I mentioned earlier, in the recent times, even the skinnier people, the small people or the slender people have been victims of body shaming. Well, ladies, my question today is, what is your take on body shaming?
Body shaming is cruel. It is something that is so bad that people shouldn't be doing. That is straight up bullying someone. And it also extends to actually your own self. You can also body shame your own self.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I think it is something that stems from low self-esteem, trying to project on others, and that is something that we need to stay away in this world. Especially, we know people are not doing well at the moment. So it is important that body shaming doesn't get to the point that it is getting at right now, where people have to go on the internet and talk about how they're feeling, how this affects them. It should be common knowledge that doing something like that to someone else could have a great effect on their mental health. So absolutely. I totally do not stand for body shaming. It's never okay.
I think no one should. If anything, no one should stand for body shaming. But yes, Sarah.
Why I'm just smiling and giggling to myself is how very
wondering.
Careful you ladies are addressing that situation.
Because it's sensitive.
Don't
It's
say
really a
it this way.
sensitive
Don't
issue.
say it that way. It's so funny to me. But anyway, in the wise words of 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, he was body shamed for his halftime performance at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And a lot of people pointed out that he had gained weight. And you know what he said? He said it's only body shaming if you're ashamed of your body. And I think it's very important. And that right there is very key. Are you ashamed of yourself? If you are ashamed of yourself and you feel that, oh no, I should improve my lifestyle, because your health should be a lifestyle. Your health is a lifestyle. And it's not about just looking the prettiest. It's about being the healthiest that you can be. So if you're overweight and that is bringing you difficulty with breathing, is causing you diabetes, is causing you all these other illnesses and sicknesses that you can ideally avoid if you just work towards getting healthier, then fix that.
Yes.
Do you get it? And also another thing about body shaming is that it only doesn't stop at somebody's weight, whether they are overweight or underweight. It also goes down to shaming people for their level of attractiveness, what their hair looks like, the type of clothes that they wear,
Their hate as well.
Skin color.
Your skin color. That all trickles down to body shaming. And just like a professor said, that you could also body shame yourself whenever you say, oh, my forehead is so long, or my legs are too long, or my arms are too skinny, or whatever the case may be. For me, the thing is, if you feel there is a problem with yourself, then it is up to you to fix it. But do not complain about being body shamed and not do something about it if you are indeed, I mean, to yourself.
Yes,
it's not
you
even
feel
about
that you
somebody
are-
else. If it's not about somebody else, it's about you and how you feel about yourself.
Yes.
If you feel that I would look better in clothing if I just lost a little bit of weight,
Yes.
or if I gained a bit of weight, then fix the situation. It's not about the other person.
Absolutely.
But
Well,
I do say that not being insensitive and not being tone deaf to people who have suffered greatly from being bullied
yes.
because of how they look or how they present themselves. I'm not being insensitive to that. I know what it's like to be in that position.
Yes.
But this is the thing, at the end of the day, it trickles down to you. If you don't like how you look or how if you don't like what you see in the mirror, fix it. It could be mental, it could be physical. Fix it.
Well, while I agree with you, Sarah, that at the end of the day, it comes back or trickles down to you as a person. How do you view yourself? How do you see yourself? Let me just not talk about me personally, but there's people out there who have been in situations where you actually are very confident about your body, you are confident about how you look, you actually find nothing wrong with you, and then you find yourself in an environment or a situation, maybe it could be even in school, it could be at your workplace, it could be anywhere where people don't find you as beautiful. Believe me, you will start to doubt yourself. Especially when you hear the comments of, oh, you might actually think that your legs are beautiful, you might think that your lips are beautiful, but someone else may not see it that way. And they will throw comments or they will talk about you behind their back, and you will start to doubt yourself. You will start to doubt and ask, am I actually as beautiful as I think I am, or am I really okay? So while it comes back to you, still what other people project or what they say about you does affect you in one way or
Just
another.
to supplement on what Aggie is saying, I don't think we grow up in homes where you're taught you're supposed to body shame someone, you're supposed to have a specific kind of body or skin color or anything like that. But once you go out there very confident about yourself, not worried about how you look, the shape of your face or anything, and meet someone who downplays what you actually look like, that can be very dangerous. Sometimes people are actually confident about themselves, but it is people out there who are projecting that negativity on them.
No, it trickles down to you. If somebody triggers your insecurity and makes you doubt yourself, again, ask yourself. Listen, consult yourself.
It's not easy. It's not as easy as you say.
I understand it is not as easy as it sounds. I know, and again, I'm not downplaying it. But then again, it comes back to you, because if you feed into other people's insecurities and you let them plant the idea of what beauty is supposed to be in your mind, then now you're going to just fall off the wagon and just go astray. And that's why we find people going and having excessive plastic surgeries. People are now being bulimic, where they are eating but throwing the food up. Other people are now eating their way into obesity because they're feeding into that insecurity. Again, it trickles down to you. I'll give you an example, and let me just give myself as an example. In 2015, there was this guy I was interested in, and then at the time there was this song, Kala ya Zari Boti ya Luzinda.
Yes.
So we were driving, and in the car, the song comes on, and then he says to me, after that chorus was sung, he says to me, you're not as light as Zari, and you don't have a booty like Luzinda. At the time, I was skinny. I was skinny. Do you know what I did? I let his comment feed into my insecurity about my body, and I went on a rampage of junk. That is the time when that fast food restaurant opened, the chicken one. I don't have to mention their name, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Yes.
So I went on sticky wings every day
To get your weight up.
to get my weight up. And I was intentionally doing that because I even went on the internet and I was, Googling how to gain weight, how to get a booty, or whatever the case might be. I went on a junk food eating spree to gain weight, to put my weight up. It got to a problem that now I started facing problems like with poor water retention in my feet. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So I had to stop myself and then ask myself, but Sarah, why are you killing yourself for somebody who is not going to be struggling with this problem. So again, I don't want to go back into much detail, but the thing is that it trickles down to you. When somebody tells you you're not pretty enough, your hair is not long enough, your toenails are not long enough, whatever the case may be, it comes down to you. Take a moment to step back. It's okay. Do not invalidate those feelings, but ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Do you get me? Why am I feeling this way? And address that issue. It takes a lot of maturity and wisdom to actually get to a place where you learn to be comfortable with yourself. And just like 50 Cent says, it is only body shaming if you are ashamed of yourself. If you like that you are overweight, love yourself, honey. Do you understand? If you are skinny, love yourself, honey. Yeah. If you have a big, long forehead, love your forehead and be proud of that. It's what makes you stand out and what makes you different.
And then to add on a little bit on what you said, the idea of beauty is always changing and evolving over time. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a time when being a skinny woman with no butt, no nothing, it was beautiful. Yeah. And so many kids, especially back in school in the 2000s, were always trying as hard, to be skinny because that was what beauty was. That's what people referred to as or upheld as beauty. But we are seeing nowadays, in the era of Kim Kardashian and then the Black Chinas and all, plastic surgery is on because people want to have more curves. So the idea of beauty keeps changing over time. And you talked about the issue of being very confident in yourself, because you could be very confident today because you have the curves that everyone deem as beautiful, and maybe in 5 years to come or 10 years, curves will not be the thing anymore. What will you do about it?
This is the thing.
Will you, go back and get out the plastic surgery?
Being confident does not mean you don't have moments of weakness where you are questioning yourself or questioning your self-worth or your beauty or your level of attractiveness, whatever the case may be. It doesn't mean you don't have those low moments. But when those low moments come is when you have to reassure yourself and reaffirm yourself and say, yes, I am beautiful. I am created in the image of God. Whatever your affirmation is, you need to continue to affirm yourself. And yes, now curves are more in trend because the Black woman's body is starting to be appreciated, and now you find white people are trying to get body enhancements to look or mimic the body of an African woman. Yeah. The things that we have had for
over the years, and we were criticized for them. Were bullied for having bigger lips.
So in the next year or even next week, when big bum bums
won't be a trend anymore.
All right. Just because you're naturally endowed does not mean you are not beautiful. Because it is trendy does not mean it is beautiful. That's what people need to understand. Trendy does not mean that it is, beautiful. It's not.
I want to agree with what Sarah is saying. But we are living in an era of the internet. Like that video we just watched, how she was saying she has never been able to, wear a bathing suit and be out there and be herself and, do normal things that people would do. You go out, take a picture, post on your social media, you expect positive reactions. But being truthful, if that lady actually posted a picture of her in a bathing suit,
she would be bullied.
She would be
absolutely.
She would be bullied. Upside down.
And Sarah was talking about building your confidence. I'll refer to one of the ladies that we know as she loves herself. She deems herself as beautiful, irrespective of the fact that she's overweight or people see her as overweight. I'm talking about Lizzo. We have seen her, do all those videos where people are criticizing her, telling her, why are you dressed like this? You're not tiny, you're not small, you don't have a small tummy, or you're overweight. Why are you dressed like this? And she has all that confidence to be like, what, it doesn't matter how I look, I'll still flaunt my curves out there. Whatever you think or how it affects you doesn't matter to me. But then we cannot forget the fact that is like 1 of 10% of people who are as confident.
It was actually false confidence, because she got to a point where she actually cried live on Instagram, talking about how she's being bullied, how people are talking about her body and stuff like that. So you can only be strong for a while, but the real issue is that people need to stop talking about people's bodies. Your body is your body, my body is my body. Let's learn to appreciate each other the way we are.
Okay. I don't think it was false confidence. Like I said, even when you are confident, you do have moments of insecurity and when you start to question yourself. And for Lizzo, in that moment, it was not about her saying, oh yeah, I agree with you, I am ashamed of what I look like and my body. No. It was coming from a place of, be kind, stop being mean. mean. Like, I love myself, and if you don't agree with what I look like or how my body it is, that is your problem. Okay, you mind your body, I will mind mine. That is where it was coming from, and that is how I interpreted it.
Yes.
So the same thing comes down to body shaming, whether it is your weight that people are shaming you, or your skin tone, or your skin color, your hair, whether you have the perfect skin or if you have acne. Even people who keep on saying, oh my goodness, you have so many pimples, let me recommend a cream. You know, you mind your face, okay? And if I need your advice, I will ask, okay? Until then, keep your unsolicited opinions
I would
to
have
yourself.
wanted to give my experience about this whole acne thing, but I will get into it later. But for now, let me give you some manifestations of body shaming. One of them is criticizing your own appearance, and Priva mentioned it earlier. Now, this is through a judgment or comparison to one person, and that is where you say statements like, I am so ugly compared to her, because you feel or you see that the other person is more beautiful than you are. And another one is criticizing another's appearance in front of them. That is where you say statements like, with those thighs, you are never going to find a date. We have seen women who have cellulite. Well, yes. So you find some people are not okay with it, and they are always bullying them about their cellulite. And then the other one is criticizing another's appearance without their knowledge. Here you say statements like, did you see what she was wearing today? Not flattering. At least you do not like her. Like, you're not actually flattering the person, but you are talking about them behind them. But did you see what she was wearing? That was so outrageous. You're not even telling them straight in their face. Now, definitely, no matter how this manifests rather, body shaming often leads to comparison and shame, and perpetuates the idea that people should be judged mainly for their physical appearance. Now, before we get into the side effects or effects of body shaming, I'd like to ask you ladies, have you found yourself in predicaments or situations where you've been body shamed? And if yes, how did you go about it? For the benefit of the viewer out there who could be going, through this kind of situation.
For me, the one time it happened, I just told you. The one time it happened, it was, it put me, how it felt, I felt, and this is the funny thing, is that I felt that I needed to change myself so that this man could find me attractive.
Yes.
And when I look back, I'm like, what?
Why?
Why
did I do that to myself?
Do you know? And I'm like, do you know how hot you are? You are altering your body for a man? For a man.
Who will probably walk away from you at some point
he will
in life.
still live if he wants to live. He will still find himself a woman who is color Yazari and has a booty like Lucinda. Like, you get me?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I said, being confident in yourself does not mean you don't have moments of weakness. So it was in that moment, after eating myself almost into obesity and being overweight, is when I stepped back, because it now started to affect my physical health. And that's when I sat down and had a conversation with myself. I was like, Sarah, you know what? You can't keep on going like this. And those who will love you will appreciate you just as the way you are. Another thing is that after I had my baby, as a woman, your body changes. Everything changes. These stretch marks, they cellulites, you get the tummy, the boobies are not as firm as they used to be. Maybe your hair is falling out. There's so much that adult acne comes in, your body changes so much. So for me, what I learned in this moment, because some people who knew me before I gave birth and saw me after, was like, you've changed so much or whatever. So I learned to appreciate the changes that my body had made. I'm like, I'm a mom now. This is what mothers look like, okay? So I appreciated the changes of my body, and that is how I handled that situation. But it goes down to you. Talk to yourself. Remind yourself just how amazing and beautiful and awesome you are.
Without having to care what any other person says.
It's okay to care. That's where
the problem with caring. The problem with caring,
it consumes you.
It consumes you, and then you have to sit back and you're like, okay, I think what they actually said is true about me.
No, don't invalidate those negative feelings that you get when people talk about you, or pinpoint things like, oh, you have acne, or your boobies are no longer firm, or you don't have a bum bam bam, whatever the case. How am I talking like
Bam, bam.
you know, don't invalidate those feelings. Don't invalidate those feelings, because those feelings can actually help you better your health in one way or the other. Like if you look at it in a positive way and look for the silver lining in it, those feelings can push you and motivate you to go to the gym every day. Those feelings can push you to, you know, adopt a healthy, you know, balanced diet. Those feelings can help you stop doing some of the things that you have, you know, included in your lifestyle, like say for instance drinking alcohol. It can help you stop those things that may be aggravating some of the causes that you're of the way your body is turning out. Like say for instance alcohol can affect your skin.
Definitely.
It can. And not having enough rest can give you, you know, eye bags and, you know, dark circles around your eyes. So you will start, you know, incorporating a lot more healthy lifestyles to help you be better. So for me, my advice is don't ignore those feelings, but don't give in to them to a way that now you start hating yourself. Use them to motivate you to be better.
Okay, well, firstly, I think I had an early grasp of what being confident is and believing in yourself. I mean, I went to an all-girls school for 6 years in my high school. So many different girls, beautiful girls, tall, brown, you know, dark,
Yeah,
and
all shades of
of,
beauty,
you know,
yes.
of beautiful girls. And I realized I'll never be like that person, however much I try. I'll never get the Kim Kardashian hips that people maybe perceive as
She bought them.
attractive or normal, both or not. I never pictured myself ever going to, you know, find myself in that situation. So I think it's so hard for someone to body shame me, because probably I'll look at it as you projecting.
You have built your
You are
confidence
projecting
already.
on me. You're projecting your insecurities on me. I am what I am. I'm never going to change. I'm going to remain like this. So you either take me the way I am, or you just
be gone.
be gone.
I have 2 instances of not body shaming, but okay, what I had to go through back in the day. Back in school, I was a little bit big. I mean, you look at me now, I'm skinny, not skinny really, but I didn't have so much flesh on me. And I had a friend, I did have so much flesh on me. And I had a friend who was skinny, tall, very beautiful, and she was my best friend. So we were always caught in a situation where people were comparing us.
Pinning you
Oh,
or
she has a
things like
smaller tummy, you know, her skin is more, my skin was actually better back in the day and hers wasn't. So they were always comparing us. So I got to a point, now this is really funny, but I did it. Imagine you have to wake up very early to go for morning preps, but you have to get a wet that towel, I don't know if you've heard of it, and then tie it around your tummy and sleep overnight in a wet towel for the reason that you want a flat tummy.
Oh my God.
It went that far, and I did that over and over again. I got really depressed because I wasn't even getting the results that I wanted.
Yeah.
I reached an extent of having to eat 1 meal a day. Imagine you're in school and you're eating 1 meal a day because you want to be skinny. So it was that bad. And looking back right now, I'm like, why was I even doing this? Because now it came naturally. It really did come naturally. And the other thing is the problem with acne, you talked about it. When, you know, go through the stages of acne, this one is looking at you because there's times where it's really bad, and then there are times when your skin gets clear. So what happens is the moment when it was really bad, there's a time when it was really bad, and I actually got scared of people looking at me. You know, sometimes they'll be like, oh, I say, what is wrong? What is wrong? What has happened to your skin? This one is telling you, use this, use that, do this, do that, giving you all kinds of, you know. And I got to the far extent of actually trying as many products. And what happened is it actually got worse instead of getting better. So I reached a certain point, I'm like, you know what? You don't have to listen to what everyone is saying. Just do what you can do. If it works, so be it. If it doesn't, it's okay. So yes, I think most of us have actually gone through, have been victims of body shaming, and it's very difficult. So I'll give you some of the effects. You had something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to just add 2 things. Earlier I said that one, we need to learn to appreciate the stage in life that we are in, and our bodies do change and transition. When children are in school, teenagers especially from the age of 13, they're starting to hit puberty and adolescence. So their body is going to change. And that is why you find that some during puberty are, you know, maybe slender, and then after puberty, boom. Or vice versa. There's acne, there's all these body changes that are happening. So I think one other thing, especially for the teenagers in school who are going through puberty, it's very important that they add to the curriculum and help them understand the changes that their bodies are making. Like help them understand and appreciate the stage in which their bodies are at that moment. The same thing goes for women who have had babies. It should be included in, you know, the counseling, because I went for, you know, postnatal counseling. But they don't really talk to you about the changes that your body is going to experience, because they don't tell you that, okay, when you stop breastfeeding, they're going to fall, or now that you've given birth, the tummy is going to sag, you know, there's going to be stretch marks, there's going to be cellulite, they need to tell people. It's not even just about women, also men need to help them understand the changes that their bodies are experiencing. So you just have to be patient and wait it out. A second thing is that, oh my goodness, my mind is buzzing. I've forgotten what the second.
Okay, but we'll get to it. Let me give you some of the effects of body shaming. If you are a body shamer out there, or if you have been caught in a situation or found yourself in a situation where you are body shamed, I'll be giving you some of the tips of how you can cope with it. Now, one of the effects is depression. That is increasing in feelings of low self-esteem, self-worth, and self-esteem. Feeling lonely and sorry for oneself can develop into a state of depression. The other one is eating disorders, the onset of unhealthy eating habits due to feelings of loss of control and low self-esteem. That is anorexia, and that is the act of refusing to eat. That was me back in the day. And the other one is bulimia, and that is the act of binging and purging. You talked about how people can, you know, have so much confidence irrespective of what people talk about their bodies. But then what they're talking about here, that's binge eating. Some people resort to, you know what, because that we cope with stress differently, and some people resort to, you know, sitting back at home and eating as much food as they can, which in the long run can be detrimental to their health. So do not do that. Do not be a victim of that.
Other people just go and shop and now just be frivolous with their money and just spending it away, because like we cope. It can also, one of the other causes is that it can lead you to bankruptcy, because you are trying to manage the stress and depression and your insecurity by, you know, buying things to make you feel good about yourself.
Absolutely. And then these are some of the ways that you can actually cope with body shaming. Yes, you can educate yourself on resources and self-advocacy. The more awareness and education you have, the better you can communicate and the more qualified support you can receive. Sarah talked about it earlier. And the next one, journal your emotions. When you take the time to journal or write out your thoughts and feelings, you give yourself space to process. Some suggestions for journaling include reflecting on your initial reactions, expressing what you want to say to the person that is fat shamed or body shamed. By the way, it's not only about being fat. Even the small people are body shamed as well. And you can write a letter to yourself, a letter of love. And the other one, develop a self-care plan. Self-care plans act as your overall toolbox for coping skills and ways to nurture yourself. Develop an emotional self-care plan with your healthcare provider. You can also shift your mindset and inner narrative. And finally, you can confide in someone you trust. It can be your parent, it can be a friend, somebody that you trust that will not go out there and actually talk about you behind your back, talk about your insecurities, and also listen to inspiring music. So while we wind up this conversation, ladies, I'd like you to give us your parting shots in regard to body shaming.
Yes, this is what it has come back to me now. This is what I wanted to say. Identify what the problem is, because body shaming, like we have already discussed, is that it's not just people who shame you, but it's also you who shames yourself. So identify what the problem is. If you have issues with your skin and you probably are struggling with acne, seek out the guidance and consultation from a dermatologist. Know why you have acne. Is it hormonal? Are you going through puberty? Is it stress? Are you using skincare products that are causing it? Is your lifestyle causing it? So find out what it is, and that way you'll be able to get the help that you need to actually control that. If it is your weight that is what is making you insecure about yourself, identify why you are gaining weight. You could be having an underlying health issue. You could be having poor eating. You have, poor eating habits, or you're just, you just have this detrimental lifestyle that you're coping with. So please seek out a nutritionist a gym, a fitness coach, whatever the case may be. And so you may be saying, Sarah, money is the issue, but Google is your friend also.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Google is your friend. If you want to work out, there are so many workout plans on the internet. YouTube has many. There are even exercise apps. So find out what the problem is and then tackle it from there. If you have a big forehead and you're insecure about it, adopt hairstyles too.
Okay, Privagis.
Well, my parting shots in regards to body shaming is let's normalize having normal bodies, you know? The next person is not going to be as skinny as you. The next person is going to be as plump as you. The next person is not going to be as tall or even short as you are. So before you give out your unsolicited opinion, please make sure you keep it to yourself and realize that you can never mold someone into what you want them to be, and there's no standard for beauty at all.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, for those words of advice. I'm very sure a viewer out there who has been watching has probably got a thing or two. Well, for me, I would only tell you that be proud of who you are and how you look at yourself, how you perceive yourself, before you get ashamed of how someone else sees you. And that, trust me, you will go a long way in being confident about how you look without having to take in what people say. Well, that wraps up our conversation that we had on our views today. I hope you got a thing or two out of it. Do not go anywhere. Sunrise at Sea continues. Don't blink.
Wow, well, I hope you had a wonderful time with us right here on the show, just like we did with you. And remember, you can connect with us across all social media platforms, and that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you missed this episode of Sunrise at Sea, well, you are in luck, because you can watch it later on today on our YouTube channel, and that's at CTV Uganda. Remember, we're always streaming live every morning on Facebook and on our website, and that's at www.ctv.co.ug. Yeah, did I say it right? www.ctv.co.ug. And by the way, you can also just write in to us and let us know if you have any concerns or you need, information or inquiries about a certain topic. You could be going through a dilemma. We'll definitely love to help. And we have, a lot of good folks in our social media circles who will definitely love to give you advice as well. So that wraps it up from us right here at Sunrise at Sea. Tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. from me and the ladies. Be kind, follow SOPs. Yes, bye-bye. Have a great day.